meals.
Not like enough room for it.
We might have to.
And then
that way on
Kelly. And then Kelly, chief meals, if I can have you right here in between. Perfect. And then if half of you want to move to the other side, just so we're not as crowded.
Works for me. Ariel Cohen, Weather Service.
Awesome.
You know, every time I try to do that, then I go back to,
I realize I have very important people here, it's a very big ask, but if you could lower the volume of your phone.
is Chris supposed to line up?
Scott.
I know, that's all. I never bring it up.
Hey, Chris, good at you and Walter for getting that crane last minute. I love it when you guys are like, 24-hour turnaround, no problem.
Because you can't pull the switch, you have to go in. Pain in the neck. And those are the ones I never feel, so it's in my pocket for years today.
Our state federal partners, because we've been talking to the Senate and Assembly too.
My folks have been working here for on one.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to thank you for joining us for today's press conference. My name is Jackie Ruiz. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Santa Barbara County Office of Emergency Management. Our public safety officials have joined us here to discuss the significant storm that's arriving in our area. I'll ask media to save all questions till the end of the speaker's statements. I'll go ahead and invite Dr. Ariel Cohen from the National Weather Service up to the podium.
Good day, everyone. My name is Ariel Cohen. I'm the meteorologist in charge of the National Weather Service in Los Angeles, Oxnard, California. Within the last few hours, the National Weather Service has issued a high risk for flash flooding. This high risk category is only used a few times per year anywhere across the United States. About half of flood-related deaths occur in high-risk areas. This includes all of the Santa Barbara area, all the way to Los Angeles. This is a particularly dangerous situation. I can't stress enough the importance that everyone be at a very high state of readiness, take those precautions to save your life from the upcoming floodwaters that will affect the Santa Barbara area. Once again, this is a situation that everyone needs to be very vigilant at a high state of readiness. Never drive through a flooded roadway ever. Turn around, don't drown. That decision to avoid that flooded roadway may save your life. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Dr. Cohen. Next up, we'll have Sheriff Bill Brown.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you heard, this storm that is coming our way is a major storm. It is another atmospheric river expected to last from this evening through Tuesday morning. It has been described by the Weather Service as having a, quote, high risk for life-threatening and damaging flooding. And it is expected to be a step up from the 9 January 2023 storm, which caused significant, over $80 million worth of damage in our county. The storm is projected to bring with it significant rain, generally 3 to 6 inches, somewhat lower in the North County and higher in the South County, with 6 to 12 inches predicted for the mountains and the foothills. The numbers are concerning, but more concerning is the projected duration and sustained amount of rain that we can expect this weekend. Unlike the rain that caused the 1/9 debris flow, for example, the intensity of this storm's rain is not expected to exceed 1 inch or 1.25 inches per hour. It's just that the rainfall will be far more sustained over a more or less continuous period for 24 hours or more. We are anticipating the possibility of flooding of streets and neighborhoods and of our highways and freeways as well. The storm will also bring with it some very strong winds. Our ground is already saturated from the previous storm that just ended, and accordingly, we may see numerous trees and power lines down. Our experts tell us they expect to see the impact of this storm throughout the county, and especially here in the South County. And if the higher levels of projected rainfall materialize, then water will likely spill over the banks of some creeks, rivers, and man-made water channels, causing flooding. Yesterday, we issued an evacuation warning for residents who live in the following areas: properties along waterways that are associated with the Thomas, Cave, and Alisal burn areas, and properties in the vicinity of Sycamore Creek from Stanwood Drive down to parts of Ninos Drive in the city of Santa Barbara. It is estimated that there are approximately 600 parcels in the evacuation areas. 355 of those are in the Montecito area. Today, we received an update from the National Weather Service indicating that the storm system remains as previously forecast, again with that high, more than 70% chance risk of life-threatening and damaging flooding. And today they added that we can expect even higher winds with gusts up to 60 or more miles per hour throughout the county, and possible thunderstorms in addition on Sunday. As a result of this information, we are now issuing an evacuation order effective immediately for the same areas covered by yesterday's evacuation warning. Once again, those areas are properties along waterways associated with the Thomas, Cave, and Alisal burn areas, properties in the vicinity of Sycamore Creek from Stanwood Drive down to parts of Ninos Drive in the city of Santa Barbara. In addition, all in-county state beaches will be closed until further notice, including Gaviota, Refugio, El Capitan, and Carpinteria. Sheriff's deputies and members of our search and rescue team will be conducting door-to-door notifications about the evacuation order, as will Santa Barbara City police officers within the city of Santa Barbara. We expect to have those notifications completed by early this evening. We encourage people living in any of those areas to visit readysbc.org, where they can find an interactive map that will allow you to plug in your address and see if you are in one of the affected areas. Members of the community can also receive updates about the storm and its impacts, such as road and freeway closures, as well as information about other resources on the readysbc.org website. We intend to lift this order once the danger of the storm has passed. In the meantime, sheriff's deputies and Santa Barbara police officers will be providing increased patrols in the evacuated areas. Just shortly before this press conference, I received a call from our Congressman, Salud Carbajal, expressing his concern and his willingness to help us with any resources that might be needed as a result of the storm, federal resources. So what can you do? If you live in any of the evacuation areas, you should leave the area. If you have automobiles parked on the streets of low-lying neighborhoods, you should move them to higher ground. Heavy rain is expected to make conditions on the roads and the freeways exceedingly dangerous, and we encourage everyone to avoid any unnecessary travel during the storm, particularly tomorrow, Sunday through Monday. Schools will be closed on Monday throughout the county, and many work sites, including the county of Santa Barbara and the city of Santa Barbara, are encouraging their staff who can work from home to do so on Monday. We encourage other employers to do the same. This storm is predicted to be one of the largest and most significant in our county's history, and our goal is to get through it without any fatalities or any serious injuries. And to do that, we will need the cooperation of the public, and we ask you for that now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Next up, we'll have the Chief of Police for the City of Santa Barbara, Kelly Gordon.
Good afternoon. I just want to address a couple things that are Santa Barbara city specific on top of what the sheriff already shared. The city will have their sandbag stations open throughout the day. The first one's at 401 East Yananali, and the second is at Fire Station 7 at 2411 Stanwood. There will be a hard closure of the Breakwater and Stearns Wharf starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. The city has brought in additional staff and is ready to address the needs of the community. We've also opened city storm emergency parking, so as the sheriff referred to those low-lying areas, you know if you are in those areas in the city of Santa Barbara, we have opened City Lot 2 and the roof at 914 Chapala so that you can park your car there instead of leaving it on the street. In addition to the school closures, so Santa Barbara City College is also closed for Monday, as well as City Hall, and all public counters will be closed on Monday. If you have any questions, we are going to be pushing out the same material that the county is pushing out, as well as additional material on our websites and social media for the city of Santa Barbara. And we ask that you be patient as we work through this. And as the sheriff said, do not drive in those low-lying areas so that we can have resources available for those critical incidents that we need to address. City staff and public works will be overstaffed so that we can address some of the needs that we see in the city of Santa Barbara, specific to some of the beach concerns that come with our water system. So those will be fully staffed throughout the weekend and into the storm. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I'll invite Chief David Niels from the Montecito Fire Protection District.
Good afternoon. My name is David Niels, Fire Chief of the Montecito Fire Department, and I'm also the Vice President of the Santa Barbara County Fire Chiefs Association. So I will be representing Fire Chief Robert Kovac of the Carpinteria Summerlin Fire Department, Fire Chief Chris Males of the Santa Barbara City Fire Department, as well as Fire Chief Mark Hartwig of the Santa Barbara County Fire Department, as we focus on the specific storm threats to the Santa Barbara front country, which includes the areas of Gaviota east to the Ventura County line. Our area experienced an unprecedented storm on January 9th of 2023. It caused significant roadway flooding and the closure of Highway 101, flooding in the city of Santa Barbara, and it required evacuations of residents and schools as the intensity exceeded predictions, causing area creeks and water conveyance systems to be overwhelmed. Our partners at the National Weather Service have run predictive models, and they are advising us that this inbound weather system will surpass the effects of the 2023 storm. With that information, we are sharing with our citizens across multiple jurisdictions that they will be impacted, and we need the public to heed evacuation directives. We are pleased that educational institutions are pivoting their schedules for the safety of their students and families. One of the effects of the 2023 storm were the numerous areas of the San Ynez Range above our communities that mobilized sediment and rock off the hillsides into our creeks and debris basins. Our slopes are saturated once again. And as we work with county flood control and hydrologists and geologists from the United States Geological Survey, the California Geological Survey, and the United States Forest Service, we understand that there is potential for material to be mobilized. We saw and validated in a 2023 report from April that nearly 1,200 areas of soil movement occurred after the 2023 storm. So the likelihood of sediment mobilization is real. On behalf of the fire agencies that serve your communities, we continue to prepare and have increased staffing and equipment readiness for this storm. Please do your part to prepare and heed evacuation information as broadcasted. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Deputy Chief Anthony Stornetta from the Santa Barbara County Fire Department.
Good evening, everyone. The one question we always get when we come to these press conferences, unfortunately, is what are we doing to prepare? Aside from the sheriff getting out ahead of the time, doing the evacuations, making the calls, ready SBC and alerts from and messaging from OEM is, what resources are we preparing? First off, we're going to go ahead and stand up our incident management team again. And we've done this in numerous times before in the mud debris flows and the mini fires that we've unfortunately seen in this county. This team is made up of specialized personnel, highly trained at the national level, and have responded throughout the nation. We're lucky enough to have an operational area team made up of all the local government departments and also law enforcement and sheriff's office. It's this collaboration that helps us manage these large, complex incidents. And right now we're preparing, but we're prepared for the biggest thing to come. So whatever that may present us. Above and beyond that incident management team made up of all the cooperators and partners in the county is we're also putting specialized equipment. So on a daily basis, we have 100 firefighters, 120 plus firefighters stationed daily here throughout the county. We're going to increase that by 60 additional and lots of special equipment. So throughout the county, we're going to have water rescue teams staged in the Santa Maria Valley, the San Ynez Valley, and down here in the Gaviota, Santa Barbara area. We'll have four-wheel drive engines through Lompoc, Santa Barbara, Carpinteria, Montecito, and up in the North County, Santa Maria, and the county areas, all trying to be the most prepared in case we do get something. We'll also have on standby a Type 1 helicopter with a crew of 5 for specialty hoist rescue, much like we saw in the debris flows and the rescuing of over 100 personnel in the 1-9 event in 2018. We're trying to be prepared as we can. We're also going to assist Public Works and Caltrans with specialty equipment. We have dozers, excavators, loaders, and special equipment also throughout the county in special areas. We're planning for certain highways to close, and that's why everything is strategically placed in case we are blocked. We still have resources available. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Cal OES for the support of this preposition and the approvals to help with funding. This doesn't come out of the local coffers. These additional funds come from the Cal OES and AB 109. So I'd like to thank them, and then thank all our collaborators behind us and our stakeholders who've worked diligently to come up with this plan and work forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go to our final speaker, Kelly Hubbard, Director for the Santa Barbara County Office of Emergency Management.
Good afternoon. Wanted to share some important information with our community members. One, I want to make sure our community members are looking to enhance their supplies that they have at home. Regardless of whether you are in the evacuation order or areas that you are evacuating from, for the rest of our community, there is still a flood risk and potential to not be able to leave your homes due to flooding of roadways and riverways. So please, if you are staying at home because you are not in the evacuation order zone, please make sure you have some supplies at home, flashlights with batteries, food, water, those general supplies that we'd encourage you to have for any type of emergency. Please check with your neighbors. We know we have community members who need additional help and may not be able to help themselves in these times. Please check and see if those neighbors need help with sandbags or their own emergency supplies if you are able to do so. We do have sandbag stations across the county. Those are listed at readysbc.org and at the County Public Works website. As always, I want to encourage community members to register for emergency alerts and update your emergency information at readysbc.org. You may have registered before, but it's important to go in and make sure that information is current and correct. The Santa Barbara County Call Center will be open today. That phone number is 833-688-5551. An evacuation center is open at the Wake Center, which is at 300 North Turnpike Road, Santa Barbara. For those campers who are in those campgrounds that are now closing, if you need accommodations, please come to that evacuation center and we will help to adjust and accommodate for those who might be coming in addition from those campgrounds. For small animal shelter information, you can call 805-681-4332. For large animal evacuation assistance, please call 805-892-4484. To stay updated on all of this information, including the phone numbers we just shared, this information is on readysbc.org. I'm going to repeat the call center phone number again one more time for the community. 833-688-5551. The evacuation order notices will be going out to those community members following this press conference, and the map should be updated already, or if not in the near future, with those additional, with the evacuation order and the state campgrounds. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to all of our speakers for their important updates. We'll now take questions from the media. Media, I ask that you please state your name, media affiliation, and who your question is for. I'm seeing no questions. All right. Then that will conclude today's press conference. Evacuation orders are now in effect, and we advise community members to visit readysbc.org for any updates. Thank you and stay safe.